If you are a US citizen, a green card holder, or a family member waiting for a visa approval, please take a moment to breathe with me. Right now, just one breath in and out. Good, because I know what you have been seeing this week. The headlines, the social media posts, your neighbor's cousin who heard something from someone who read something online, and every single one of those things made your heart beat a little faster. Every one of them made you wonder, is my case okay? Is my family okay? Is my future okay? I hear you. My name is I have been sitting with this community through many hard news cycles, and today I want to do something simple. I want to separate the rumors from the reality. I'm not here to give you more anxiety. There's enough of that already. I am here to give you the quiet truth, the kind you can sit with, the kind that lets you sleep tonight. So pull up a chair, let us talk. And now, before we go any further, I want to be clear about one thing. I am your white guide, not your lawyer. Everything I share today is for your child, peace of mind, and your child's education. It is explained simply, honestly, and with care. If your specific case needs legal advice, please speak with a qualified immigration attorney. What I offer today is a clear map of the landscape, so that when you do talk to a professional, you already understand the road. With that said, let us get into it. This week, a federal court in New York made a significant move. And the moment it happened, the internet lit up. People started saying things like visas are canceled and green cards are being taken away and the immigration system is shutting down. None of that is accurate. So let me tell you what the court actually did. And I want you to picture something while I explain this. Picture a classroom. A teacher gives a student an assignment. The student turns it in quickly, but the teacher looks at the paper and says, "Wait, I need you to show me your work before I accept this." That is essentially what happened here. The New York District Court looked at a policy decision made by the administration, a pause on certain visa processing, and the judge said, "Not so fast. Show me the reasoning, show me the legal basis, explain to me how this follows the rules." That is it. That is the whole story in plain language. The court did not erase anyone's application. The court did not uncancel any green cards. The court did not unchange the law. What the court did is use one of the most important tools our democracy has. It used the check and balance system. It is the same system the founders built into this country over 200 years ago. One branch of government, the executive branch, the White House, made a decision. And another branch, the judicial branch, the courts, said, we are going to review that. This is why it's not chaos. This is the system working exactly as it was designed to work. Think of it this way. Imagine you are on a very large ship. This ship has a captain, an engineer, and a safety inspector. The captain says, "Let us turn left." The safety inspector says, "Before we turn, let me check the instruments." That pause, that one needs review, does not mean the ship is sinking. It means the ship has multiple layers of protection built in for you. You are on a ship with a safety inspector, and right now, that inspector is doing their job. Now, let us talk about this court ruling specifically helps, because this is the part that matters most to you. In the vast majority of cases, if you already have a pending family-based petition, if you are a U.S. citizen who filed for a spouse, a child, a parent, this ruling is actually good news for you. It means the court is pushing back against delays that were being introduced through executive policy. It means a judge looked at what was happening and said, the law still applies here. Let me say that again. The law still applies here. For those of you waiting on family petitions, the court's action essentially signals that the pathway you started on has not been legally closed. Your petition, if it was filed correctly and is in the queue, remains valid. In the vast majority of cases, this ruling does not create new problems. It actually removes one that was being built. Now let me tell you specifically who this does not affect, because I know some of you are worried about the status you already have, and I want to address you directly. If you are a naturalized US citizen, meaning you went through the full process, you passed your test, you took your oath, you received your certificate, you can rest easy. Your citizenship is yours. It is written into federal law. No executive order, no policy pause, no court case changes that. Your foundation is solid. It is not being reviewed. It is not on a list. You are a citizen, full stop. If you are a current permanent resident, if you have your green card in your hand or in your file, You can rest easy. Your status is protected under existing federal law. What is being debated in these courts relates to new applications and new processing decisions, not to the status you have already earned and been granted. I want you to hear this clearly. Your green card is not going away. The courts are not asking for it back. The government is not coming to your door. You earned that status, you went through the process, and the Mi'oat law protects what you earned. You can rest easy. Now I want to explain something that I think causes a lot of confusion, and it is the difference between a policy pause and a law change. These two things sound similar. They are very, very different. A law change requires Congress. It requires bills to be written, debated, voted on, signed. It is a long, public, documented process. Laws do not change overnight. When they change, there is a long paper trail, and there are usually years of notice. A policy pause is different. A policy pause means that an administration, an agency, a department decides temporarily to do something differently. They might slow down processing. They might add a new review step. They might change how they prioritize certain applications. These pauses can be challenged in court. And that is exactly what happened in New York. Someone looked at the policy pause and said, "I do not think this is legal." And the judge agreed to take a closer look. The law did not change. The policy was challenged, the court is reviewing it, and in the meantime, the judge has asked for things to slow down, specifically to protect applicants while that review happens. Think of it like a construction zone on the highway. The destination has not moved. The road still goes there. There is just some temporary slowdown while the workers make sure everything is safe. You are still going to arrive. It is just taking a little longer than expected. Delays are normal. Delays happen in every administration, in every era of immigration history. Delays are not denials. I want you to hold that. Delays are not denials. A denial is a specific, formal, documented decision that says, your case does not qualify, here is why, and here is how to respond. A delay is your file sitting in a queue while processors work through a backlog. Those are two completely different things, and right now, for most families, what they are experiencing is a delay, not a denial. I want to take a moment now and speak directly to those of you who are between the ages of 60 and 75. Because I know that for many of you, the immigration journey has not been yours alone. You filed for your children years ago, or your children filed for you. You have been waiting, sometimes for a decade or more, for the process to unfold. And every time there is news like this, it feels like the ground is shifting under your feet. I see you. I really do. And I want you to hear this from me directly. The law is on your side. The family petition system, the one that allows US citizens to bring in parents, spouses, children, has been in place for generations. It is not new. It is not experimental. It is a deeply established part of American immigration law. And the courts, the very courts that made news this week, exist in part to protect that system. Time is a factor, yes. Time is always a factor in this process. But the structure remains. The legal framework that your petition was filed under is still standing. The category you are waiting in still exists. The visa bulletin still moves. Slowly, yes, but it moves. The law is on your side. And while you wait, the structure is holding your place for you. I want you to think of it like a line at a very important office. The line is long, the line is slow. There are some days when the office closes early and nobody moves, but your number is still in the system. You are still in the line. No one has taken your spot. Done. So, if your inbox is empty today, take a breath. Check the USCIS processing times tool, which I will link in the description below, and compare your wait time to the published average. In most cases, you will find that you are right where you should be, or even ahead of it. I will see you in the next update.